and I'm here to talk about this awesome resource that exists, which is actually connected through College Board. They make the SAT, AP exams, things like that. And this is called BigFuture. So BigFuture is a great tool because it's a way to not only look for colleges that might be overwhelming to think like, which one should I pick? Which one should I go to? Not only that, they have great resources about how to pay for college, how to explore careers and your interests, how to get in, like applying, and how GPA works, things like that. But today we're going to focus on how to search for a college. And so as you can see, that there are more than 2,000 colleges in the US, so find the right college for you. And so I'm going to pretend that I'm not really sure exactly where I want to go to, but I want to see my choices. So I click on search for colleges. So as you can see, there are 3,690 college options that are in BigFuture. So we're going to go through the different categories to see how we can get more specific in a school that might be a good match for us. So first, I'm going to go on test scores and selectivity. So as you may know, the University System of Georgia is not requiring the SAT or ACT tests with your application. So this might not necessarily apply to schools that are out of state, but I'm going to focus on not having to turn in my math or evidence-based reading and writing SAT scores. And so also with selectivity, you can see like how selective schools are. For example, that if you want to be in a school that is really high selectivity, like a Yale or a Georgia Tech or something like that, you can click on that. If you're not as worried about selectivity, you could click on that, but I'm going to not put that in. Type of school. So for me, I know that I have a 3.3 GPA and I'm more interested in studying at a four-year college. So I'm going to click four-year college, and then I'm going to look at schools that are public. So for example, if I have a Hope Scholarship, I know that if I go to a public school in the state of Georgia, it'll pay about for 90% of my tuition. So I want to click on public. I mean, the Hope Scholarship can go towards private universities too in the state of Georgia, but it's not going to cover as much. And then maybe I want a medium-sized school, so not too big, not too small. And then I want to be co-ed, so have both men and women and everyone else go to my school. So just from there, we went from 3,690 results to only 345. And that was just with the type of school. And now I'm going to click on location, so I know that I want to be in the state of Georgia. Let's see, I'm going to click on Georgia. And then I'm going to close and see my results. Now there's only 15. And so I can go even further as to different options, but I think I can handle 15. So I'm going to look around and see what could be of interest to me. So I think I'll click on Valdosta State University. So while I want to stay in the state of Georgia, I don't mind, say, leaving the Atlanta, Athens area. I don't mind leaving Winder. So as you can see, this is a really helpful tool because it has all this information that's like right here. So I can see like, when is my application? When would that be due? Average financial aid package. And then I can click on majors and learning environment. So if I know that I'm really interested in studying education, I can see that there's a lot of different education programs at Valdosta State. So maybe if I do more research, I could see that education's a big program at Valdosta State. But if I was, say, interested in photography, and I scroll down and I look at the visual and performing arts section, I can see that I don't see any photography here, so that might not be the school for me. And so this is definitely a great tool to look through these things. You can see most popular majors, where graduates go, data not reported. And then for applying, when I click on applying, I can see what is the most important thing for Valdosta State academic GPA. The standardized test scores. Normally, of course, we're in COVID times, so they're not accepting. Well, you can apply with your SAT or ACT score, but it's not required. And so I can click on academics and GPA. So I can see I need 4 units of English, 2 units of foreign language, the history, math, science, etc. And then I can scroll and see high school GPA. So this scale is a 4.0 out of 4.0 GPA, but Winder-Barrow, they report officially an 100-point GPA. So if I click here to convert GPA to a 4.0 scale, let's see, say I have an 87 average GPA. I can see that that equates to about a 3.3 GPA. And so when I scroll down, I can look at the average, let's see, 3.3 GPA. So it's in between that range. So I can see that a 3.3 GPA is on the higher end of students that apply to Valdosta State. And so that means that Valdosta State might be more of a match school for me. So my statistics, my stats of like, oh, well, I have a 3.3 GPA is going to be something that Valdosta State can match with, as opposed to, say, if I had maybe a 2.1, it might be more difficult for me to get in. It doesn't mean that I won't get in, but that doesn't match the GPA that Valdosta State might be looking for. And so you can also look at campus life. You can see the average age of a student. Oh, you can see how housing works. You can see the different activities, sports. So maybe for me, sports might not be a huge thing. I don't need to be at a Division I school necessarily, but it's fine if I am. And so you can see the different sports that they might offer at Valdosta State. And so you can add it to your list, things like that. And it's great because, and when you click on back at a glance, you can see schools that it might be similar to your school. So I could click on Georgia Southern and I can see that Georgia Southern is a large school, bigger than I guess what I was thinking about, but it's also in a similar area as it's in Southern Georgia too. And I can check, maybe they have the major of photography. I'm not sure, maybe they do. So I can click on that and see if they have it or not. Let's see, scroll, visual and performing arts. So they have graphic design, which is not the same thing, but there's different programs offered at Georgia Southern. And so this is a great way to, check out schools and see that's all on the same website, and it's like very clear cut. You can see, oh, they have women's studies, they have biochemistry. I don't have to search around a website and do that. So I'm going to compare some colleges and see, at a first glance, schools that might be of interest to me. So Valdosta State, I'm going to go choose that. I'm going to choose Georgia Southern, and then maybe I want to choose Georgia State too. So I know that I want to use my Hope Scholarship to pay for most of my tuition, and I want to stay in Georgia so I can see the differences and similarities between these three schools. So yes, they're all in the state of Georgia. Valdosta State is smaller. Georgia Southern and Georgia State are more similar in size, but you can see the campuses are a lot different. So Valdosta State is in a suburban area, so that means in between, city and rural. Georgia Southern is rural, and Georgia State University, you're literally taking classes in skyscrapers. So it's a lot different from, say, Georgia Southern. But you can see that, all of them are somewhat selective. They're actually accepting students, about 50-ish% of all students that apply. You can look at costs, things like that. And so you can also save these to your list and continue to have them, and you can visit and explore through there. And so BigFuture is a great tool for everyone to use to explore. I think it's awesome that they have Career Finder. You can use this to figure out something you might be interested in too. And so there's a lot of different options with BigFuture. So I definitely recommend checking out BigFuture and seeing all the things they have, and make an account, because that way you can save everything and just log in. It's easy enough.